So you can imagine that the skills you're learning, it might not be the knowledge I have, but it at least gives you some of the skills that you have to keep a millionaire client entertained.
Yeah.
If you ask me, like, Sia will tell you, I used to go to his restaurant and just sit. I'll pay the meal, I'll buy, and I'll sit for hours. I'm sure Liana I don't think he's asked me, but we talk a lot, you know. But if you were to ask me, how come you sit here for so long? A lot of people sit until their meal is finished. When the meal is finished, Chloe, we must get going. Yeah. Especially because Sia is busy, so he's not gonna sit and talk to you the whole time. He's gonna go and do something else. Mo, you'll just tell me before you leave, okay? Sharp. And then I just sit there. Why? Because I'm increasing my analysis of what is it that these young guys are doing that I don't do. Tony, how you doing, Tony? You good? I know you've been working 6 hours. You still have a positive attitude.
Tony.
Okay, Tony, don't do that. Okay. So I get to see that, all right, you guys have got positive attitude no matter the time of the day.
What you're doing, Tony?
Okay, I can learn that. Yes, I'm not learning it from a millionaire, but I'm learning it from someone that sells to a millionaire. You know? Those sort of things. For me, those are the skills that I then had to learn on the side. You know? I remember saying to Sia that, remember, Tasha's food or Tasha's the brand, for me, I think, is similar to, it's no different to if you're working at a Mercedes-Benz. I think that those are the same level products. I think I can even say that Tasha's is no different to if he was owning a Porsche or a Ferrari dealership.
Yeah.
And he said, why do you say so? I said, no, first of all, look at the cars that are parked outside. The person that buys a Porsche or a Ferrari comes and eats here. So already tells you that this is the same, you're in the same bracket.
Yeah.
So if you can sell him a plate of food, you can sell him a car. Because the car salesman had to have done the same thing you did.
Positive attitude, all those
things. Just maybe different amounts.
Yeah.
So then I sit and I watch.
Oh,
what do you do? Almost every customer that comes in, Jack, how are you? Long time, haven't seen you. How's the wife?
The grandpa,
How's the wife? How's the kids?
Actually, while on that,
while
we're on that, actually, he was the manager was even talking about rewarding this lady who keeps coming back every single day, I think. Yeah.
Little things like that. Kid comes in, gingerbread. Here's a gingerbread.
And he did, Lena. He said Uti.
Sometimes flour. Take a flower from your own arrangement. And the girls blush. Oh, no, you don't have to. No, take it. You look lovely. He's teaching you skills. Okay, this is how you hang around rich people. This is how you hang around nice people. It's just, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. For me, it doesn't matter. And it can sound like it's privilege speaking, but I can tell you now, it doesn't matter. If you've got the high technical skill, you still have to go learn the other soft skill. If you've got the high soft skill, you still can learn the technical skill. And each of us will feel it's difficult. It's easier for me, to learn numbers, to sit in 6-hour meetings talking technical accounting. Yes, it's easier. But if I want the money that is higher up the ladder, I will eat the frog and I will learn that skill, that side. Same vice versa. If maths is difficult for you, look at a timeline. Okay, fine, I'm 21. Maths can be difficult for me now. But if are you telling me that if I learn one sum, one integer, one theorem a year, by 50, I won't know all the 21 theorems in mathematics. It's 23. How many theorems are there that drive maths?
I don't even know myself.
By 50, I can know them. Okay, sharp. Okay, slow learner. Maths hits me sharp. But this year, I'm gonna take one, learn that one. Next year, I'm gonna take another one, learn that one. Next year, I'm gonna take another one, learn that one. By the time I'm 50, I'm gonna have the skills that I got from whatever jobs you would have done. You're gonna move. jobs. Some are gonna make you work with your hands. Some are gonna make you whatever. All of us, by the way, this is happening to all of us. You guys know better than me that AI is disrupting. Computers are disrupting. I get it. Yeah, that's true. Now they told us that once you become an accountant, the world is your oyster. Today I see unemployed accountants. Yeah, well, now they are saying already, no, if you want to make money as an accountant, you must start a business. What. I at least started a business 8 years ago. Yeah, well. So at least I've got that skill of starting a business. But even in starting a business, you get to see what's moving, what's changing. Some people are not even paying you for the accounting. Other people are paying you, but they feel as if they want to see more accounting, whatever, you name it. It's changing for all of us. There's no one skill that's going to set you for life. Everyone, engineers, what, it used to be that you can just get under a truck, fix something, and then you get paid. Go home, you get paid. Yeah. Now you get under a truck, you fix something, you don't smile at the guy at the door, they tell you, don't come back here. Evan, why? Nah, man, you make us feel some type of way. Yeah, well. Or you go under a truck, you fix something, they tell you, Chief, took you too long. Yeah, well. But it's all sorts of skills that you learn that you need. And for me, again, it's an economic ladder. There's, to be honest with you, most of the time, where you are at any given point in time doesn't really say much. It does give that some sort of indication that, okay, you've done well or not done well for yourself, normally based on whether a lot of people by your age are there or there or there or there or there or whatever. Yeah, well. But for me, if you can take away the sales skill, the ability to keep a millionaire entertained for the duration of their meal, the ability to know how to welcome a millionaire. You get people, they say you're going to meet the president. All of us wear the same thing, a suit and tie. What do you think Sia is going to do? Ramaphosa! I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, if security doesn't stop him, Ramaphosa is going to say what? After hugging him and whatever. When he gets down the line, he's going to say, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Tina, with our suits, Armani, Guess, Gucci, he's not going to ask who's that guy with a Guess suit or not an Armani suit or not a Gucci suit. He's going to say to the guy that made him feel like, I'll close off again now I applied sales in my field. Friend invited me to a gala dinner, presidential dinner. Things like 25,000 rand a seat, according to him. It's like, God damn, shit. But I took it as, means I'm that valuable to him that he's willing to pay for a seat for me to go for that much money.
25,000 rand.
Yes, sir. Presidential dinner. Hey, Chief, why are you judging it?
Oh, no, I'm not judging.
Don't judge it.
I'm not judging them.
You're gonna be judging people there.
No, but
the speed. You know the people that the speed limit in the country is 120. Why would you pay 5 million for a car that does 360? No, you're wasting man.
No. Okay.
You're not paying for the seat. Did you not hear me? It's a gala dinner with the president.
No, I understand.
Yeah, it's a package.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah. Anyway, so we're sitting there, whatnot, and then the president comes, he gives his speech, they clap, what, it's dignitaries that are in there, what. Then they say the president is in a hurry, he has to fly to Cape Town, it's Workers' Day tomorrow, so he's not going to have an opportunity to meet you guys one by one. So can all our sponsors come to the stage? We'll start with the platinum sponsors. Platinum sponsors are people that donated whatever, 1 million or 100,000, come to the stage. I'm sitting there and I'm looking, okay, they're getting on stage. Well, our gold sponsors come to the stage. Chief, they're calling you there on stage. No, they're calling the gold sponsors. Yeah, that's you. Go on stage. Luckily, my friend has a quick eye. He looked at me, and he looked there, and then he looked at me, and he said, okay, I'm going. Then he stood up. And then he said, why are you waiting? Let's go. Give him my accountant. Got up, went on stage. I have a selfie with the president. He also has a selfie with the president.
No, I know that selfie. Yeah.
Yes, smiling at Ramaphosa with it.
Pardon?
Yeah, smiling at Ramaphosa over there.
What do you mean with him? As in
Yeah,
with
selfie.
him or
Yeah.
smiling? Yeah, we're both smiling at the camera.
Hey,
Yeah, it's very romantic.
You never know.
Yeah. When we came back, he said, Choma, we're not half. You know? It's fine, I'll take it. However way you describe how the skills you have, how you've normalized them. Some will call you crazy, some will call you ambitious, some will call you creative, some will call you innovative, whatever. At some point in your life, you're gonna have a once in a lifetime opportunity. And that's every day, by the way. Every day you have a once in a lifetime opportunity. You either can see it or can't see it based on the skills that you've accumulated or you've been accumulating. Now, when I was sitting there, I saw they're calling people to come to take a picture with the president, and they're not doing any security check. They're not asking for anything. So I was like, so if we say we are gold sponsors, nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah, nobody's gonna say anything.
Yeah, so went up, took a selfie, came back down. President is alive, I'm alive. What was nice, though, was after that selfie, the room changed towards us. Now when you go greet someone, hey, how are you? And then like, oh, and then you're a gold sponsor,
Yeah,
chief.
gold sponsor now.
You're on stage.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now again as well, something about human behavior. Chief, you must learn to ignore your mom. Some lessons you're not gonna get them from your mom. She got you this far.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I lose nothing. I lose nothing.
Reminds me of that day when we went to the power hour, the JC power hour. And then you told Simon's wife that I had her book.
Yes. Yes. It does what? It changes. It's all forms of value that just keep moving around. Like the minute it sails as well, the minute you play a certain hand, something happens to the value in the room. All of a sudden, you become something. Introductions. I've spoken at many events, but the one that changed my life was one day they said, hey, so since you speak, how should we introduce you? I said then, I thought, God damn, what do you mean, how should you introduce me? And then I wrote something quick, and then they read it, and then I heard how it sounds, and I thought, oh, okay, that sounds nice. And then next time, then I started even changing it. Oh, no, I don't have to just say I'm an accountant. Why? Because accounting already has a value on the ladder. What's that going to help me? Imagine now when you say you're well-traveled. He's a numbers connoisseur. People look at you and think, what the hell does this guy do? He's a numbers connoisseur. God damn.
Yeah.
Now when he's done there on stage, I'd like to give him my business card.
Yeah.
You're a numbers connoisseur. Hey man, what can I say? I try my best. He's well-traveled. When you are there, I've been to Mashashane, I've been to Ramatala, I've been to Durban, nobody cares.
It's the same.
I'm well-traveled.
It's the same.
I'm well-traveled.
It's the one that you have.
I'm well-read and I'm well-traveled. He's an avid reader. Sales, economic value. Till this day, the other thing that we did, sales again. In that same room, that's the day that Sam Motsonyane passed away. I get the founder of African Bank. We're sitting in the room, news that broke that day, whatever. We see a camera crew there, they're busy shooting because EWN are there, they cover these events. They're walking past, and we hear the question they ask the other guy, hey, what did you think of the life of Mr. Sam Motsonyane? So my friend knows I know Sam Motsonyane. So I'm like, hey Trev, should I get the cameras to come speak to you? It's like, man, how do I say? Because all of us think it's ENCA. What can I say? It's not ENCA. It's that lady and that guy that are holding a camera and a microphone. To South Africa, it's ENCA. But to us here in this room, it's you and me. They need opinions from someone in the room. No, she won't give me the camera. Do you know her? No. Does she know you? No. Do you know you can be anybody to her? By the way, okay, got up, went to the lady. Hi, how are you? They respect you, first of all, the event, the occasion, the scenario. Got the mark. Nobody's going to treat you bad. If you are there, we already assume that, hey, man, don't. I see you not wearing the clothes that everyone here is wearing, but I can't judge you. You are here. I get it. Hey, I said to that lady, that guy is the smartest person you can speak to in this room. She was like, oh wow, what does he do? It's like, I don't even know what he does. I don't even know what he does. I just know that guy is the smartest person you'll speak to in this room. And then she nodded her eye. Nah, I'll talk to him. It's like, good luck. If you can even get him to do an interview, good luck.
Now she wants to talk to him.
Now she wants to go talk to him. Now she goes, do you mind? Yeah, and then he laughs. Trevor laughs. Then Trevor points back. No, he's the smartest person.
You shot a true pass.
Now Trevor says he's the smartest person in the room. Trevor said, "What? I'll get you to speak to her." So I went, and then I think, and then he think. I get it. Now I'm on TV. I'm speaking. But now, why is she interviewing me? Because she realizes that by putting him on, I was being humble. Now it's double. But when she was finished with me, she even interviewed him. Now we're both on. Sales. It's an economic ladder. It's an economic ladder. And it does not pay you because it's an economic, sadly. Because you go to church. If you go to church, you'll get some deals that come from people that only want to do business with people that go to church.
Oh yeah.
You also get, now the older I'm getting, there are opportunities where I only want to work with people that have got something to lose. So if you don't have a family, if you're not married, whatever, not too interested.
This is similar to farming a bit.
Yeah.
When you want to market yourself.
Yeah.
I did it in grade 11, basically what it does.
Yeah.
So there's the show. I'm sure you know it. It's called the Roadshow in Maritzburg. Basically, it's where all farmers around KZN go. They showcase their animals and everything. So our school takes us there to showcase our animals and also to basically market ourselves around farmers. So what I did that time is that I got myself into the program so I could assist the teachers and everything, and then take the animals, showcase them, help the students, and then also go to the farmers and market myself in there. So what you do is basically, a farmer probably will come and bring an animal, bring something over there. You'd be like, oh, hi, how are you? Good and everything. Ma'am, can I please assist you with this and that? They'll be like, okay, sure. You go there, you assist them, you chat with them, you be like, ma'am, what's your farm? Where you guys located at? What you guys do? All these things, and then you carry on like working and like helping them and everything, and then next thing you be like, how can I get into where you at, basically, or to your company? I remember one farmer said to me, what you basically need to do is that you just come there, get experience, then I can assist you there onwards.
School of hard knocks.
So that's what I did. Basically, I helped her throughout the whole day. Then I got a number. Then I was like to her, I'm gonna call you to come to your farm. 3 months later, I called her. She took me to her farm, did experience there. So that's how you also build up, because other farmers do this. I remember this other guy has no qualifications, only has a matric. This guy, he started off by having animals, and then what he did is basically he marketed himself, going to farmers saying that, yo, I have this kind of animal, everything, I'm gonna sell them to you. That's price and everything. They'll come, the farmers will come, obviously see how his cows are and everything, and then be like, oh, how did you do this? He will basically tell him, what, this is my strategy in order for my animals to be like that. Be like, oh, okay, wow, I see how you work. And then that got him an opportunity to actually be a farm manager at that farm, because once the farm manager left, they didn't even interview him. They called him, be like, there's a job opportunity he wanted. Then he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. With your expertise and your knowledge and your skills, you want them on your farm.
100%.
So they called him, and he's now working there. So it's basically like that. Also, you market yourself to different farmers, big farmers, and you have an opportunity to either go there, work for them, then they can give you opportunities. If you show, basically what you need to do is to show yourself that you have the skill, you know the work, and you can do the work, and then the rest will just go as planned for you. So yeah,
these that I named, né? Things that you can control. Né?
Yes.
What you can't control is opportunities. Unfortunately, that's the other thing about the economic ladder. I found the best way to participate or prepare for climbing the economic ladder. The things I can control, while I don't have the opportunities, work on them as much as possible so that when the opportunity comes, I'm ready.
you're ready. Yes.
I'm ready to grab it. But if I sit and I say there's no opportunities and I'm not working on my skills, I'm not working on anything, the opportunity comes,
It's up.
I can't take it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the person they're looking for. People say we have an unemployment problem in the country. Hey, I'll get in trouble if I say it. Yeah, well. Because every day, my friends and I were traveling. We are looking for opportunities. We are creating opportunities. See, that's the other thing that makes you, if you even learn to create opportunities, you become even more invisible than people that do or don't get opportunities.
Sorry to cut you. See, I said there's a schedule tomorrow.
He said so.
Yeah, he just sent a message right now. He'll give me a call tomorrow.
He'll give you a call tomorrow, so does that mean we're not going?
You guys will start Friday. Let's sort out logistics. We'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool.
But still, opportunities, creating or finding them, whatever. It takes skill to spot some opportunities. It takes, some opportunities are already ready. Some opportunities are half cooked. And some opportunities you have to look for them or create them. Right? Your skills, your knowledge, or whatever is what enables you to either find the already opportunities, create the opportunities, or my skills make some things opportunity. We see it every year. They release the tax rate. People cry, oh, tax went up. Yes. For me, when the tax rate comes out, I dance.
Yeah.
Why? Because my skill has just created opportunity for me.
I remember you also telling me about the interest rates going up. High interest rates means low selling prices.
Yeah. Whatever, I've gotten to a place where no matter what happens in the economy, opportunity for me. When times get tough, people want to know how to balance their budgets, how to what. I'm there. When times get good, people want to know where to make investments. I'm there. For me, it's all an opportunity.
He's that guy that's like, the economy is doing very well. He's that guy.
The Prime Minister of Ghana.
Yeah. Very wonderful.
Oh yes, economy,
economy is doing wonderful.
Colleagues.
Money will come. Colleagues. Money will come. You study those things. You study what are the things that make tough economic conditions. I have a book there called The Great Depression Diaries. It's a guy who was a surgeon every single day from 1929 to I think 1943. He would write in a journal what he saw that day. He wasn't writing something spectacular, the economy. No. He would just write that I've noticed that, hey, doctors see a lot of patients, but they also don't have money. So doctors, you know how they say it's their skills that will never go out of fashion. He writes there that, hey, today is the 14th of August, 1932. Doctor came to me and said that, can he please have he was a lawyer actually. Can he please have my legal services? Yeah. But he doesn't have cash to pay me. He'll pay me when his customers pay him. And isn't that interesting? Even doctors don't have money in this economy.
And you did post about it. I remember.
I've got it there. I'll give it to you. Why? I study all different types of economic conditions so that I can identify them, so that I can see what other successful people did during those times to be successful.
History repeats itself.
History definitely repeats itself. Easily. repeats itself. Yeah, well. So that's, for me, is the shortest cut actually to even becoming anything with the opportunity, studying, reading, whatnot, because it's somebody else's experience. They've gone through this thing 1,000 times and even felt as if, hey, the way I know this thing, let me put it down in a book for someone. What did I do? The first thing I said, record it, use video. Why? Yeah, sure, I'll shine for 2 seconds. More than shining for 2 seconds. This is information I know for a fact. On the internet, you won't find it.
Google is not working these days.
You won't find it. I've seen it once. Jim Rohn does this. And I've been using the same video for 11 years with all my mentees, Jim Rohn. But I realized that he's boring in some instances to some people because he's talking about personal development. And if you're not fully clued up with what he's talking about, you can end up not catching on. Yeah, well, at least you have a vested interest that, hey, I'm here. Hey, what's the way forward now?
Yeah, and he was here.
Yeah.
He was here.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
With
That's
kids.
the other thing that he said. He said, pick any point on the economic ladder and 6 years,